Derick along with Matt Rose here at DRF headquarters to talk about the Sun Stakes final. Huge card on Saturday, June 30th from the Downs at Mohegan Sun Pocono. 4 big stakes races. It starts in race number 9, and we're going to take a look at it. The $300,000 James Lynch final. We have a great field here. Sidewalk Dancer and You Are My Candy Girl. One of them likely to be the favorite, I would say.
Yeah, I can't argue with Sidewalk Dancer as a slight morning line favorite. Just missing her elimination. I think maybe favoritism will go to You Are My Candy Girl just because of the reputation with Ron Burke, Yannick Gingras, and what this horse did last year. And with her elimination win, where she did dig in for a next score in 151-3. I'm going to go in a slightly different direction, look for a price, not a huge price, but I'll look with the 6 Alexis Power. I've liked everything I've seen from this filly in all 7 of her starts this year. It can be excused maybe for last week's elimination, where it tried to leave, had to take back and settle third, then to come first over into what's always a quick back half or quick third panel at Pocono. Didn't tire all that badly, held fine, and I think she can be in line for a better trip here, and I don't see any reason why she can't pull off some sort of upset here, 4-5 to 1.
I also went against You Are My Candy Girl here. She's been a little bit of hit and miss. The 2 races where she went fast on the lead, she stopped. The 2 races where she went slow on the lead, she won. I can't imagine she's getting a slow pace here if she is on the lead.
Yeah,
you know?
Does have Lasix for the first time. Maybe that has something to do with the problems she had. But she's been, like you said, she's just been too inconsistent for my taste. And I got to see a stronger effort from her, and especially going forward in this 3-year-old campaign.
I'm going to go with the morning line choice here, which is Sidewalk Dancer, who I agree with you probably should be second choice when the off odds come up. Just a horse that really impressed me last week from post position number 8 to even finish second in that race. She was parked, almost the first half. It's certainly the first 3/8. Just putting a huge effort. She's 4 for 8 over this particular track for a trainer that tends to do very well at Pocono Downs and Chris Oakes. I like a lot about her. I think the 3, who's 12 to 1 on the morning lines, Serene Stride, had a kind of a tough trip last week. Left, found the spot. She didn't really make a big impression on the rim, but I thought it was a tougher type race. I think if she can make more of one move, she has a shot at a pretty good price here. And I think you got to at least mention number 9, Kissing in the Sand.
Which I was just about to do, yes.
Who, she has enough early speed to overcome post position number 9. It's just a matter of, how easily she gets a spot.
Yeah, you can't get away 9th, that's for sure. And I know I'm reasonably sure Scott Zeron knows that. You got to leave and at least try to find a seed, or even if you're out the mile, at least pick up cover somewhere along the way. Tough spot, but we know she's more than capable. You'll get a halfway decent price if you like her, strictly because of the bad draw.
Alexis Power, number 6 for Matt. I'm going with number 1, Sidewalk Dancer. That's in race 9, the James Lynch. And that'll move us on to race number 10, the Max Hemp. They're going for $500,000 in this race. And if they want to win, they're going to have to go through number 7, Lather Up, who's a very generous 2 to 1 morning line there.
Yeah, probably more like, 2 to 5 when the race goes off, I would imagine. Listen, what can you say about Lather Up? No one even knew who he was, and then all of a sudden he's 7 for 7, 470 grand in the bank for Team Teague, Clyde Francis, George Teague, Montreal Teague. They got another killer here, and although I didn't pick him, I'm going to try for an upset. Clearly, he's the one to beat it, odds on.
Let's look at the Lather Up's elimination victory last week, and it was quite impressive. I mean, they were all right there with him. It looked like maybe even Nutcracker Sweet, who sit in the pocket, would have a shot at him, and Lather Up just says, "See you." Right
here, he just you'll see any second now, just spurts off with an impressive move, basically all on his own and wrapped up. What can you say? This race might have been even more impressive than the North America Cup final.
Another horse that was interesting, I thought, from last week was number 3, Springsteen. He kind of waited his time, driver Simon Allard, as we look at the replay here. He waited his time. He wasn't in any rush. You see him, he's coming up 4th on the outside now. He really closed well late in the mile.
He did get towed into the race nicely, ended up losing cover, but that just gives him a clear shot, a clear path, let's say, to the leader. You can see he's pacing fine now. He's doing it all on his own. And then late in the mile, Simon Long goes, wow, I'm really getting close. And then he gets after him a little bit. Solid effort, basically two solid bounce back efforts after that disaster in the Art Rooney final at Yonkers. Another one that just recently had Lasix, second time Lasix. He will need a trip here. I imagine he's off the pace, and if Lather Up controls the pace, Where's he coming from? First over, second over? That might not be the best spot for him. Did you go with Lather Up? Are you chalking it up, or where's your top pick here?
I did go with Lather Up, but I just want to mention a couple other things. First, Dorsadora Hanover was the horse that beat Springsteen. He's been solid all year, 4 for 5 on the year. And obviously Stay Hungry, who was your Breeders' Crown winner last year, hasn't been all that great this year, 1 for 4. He seems to be more of like, I don't know, one pace. I mean, he's got a nice burst, but he has no tactical speed from what we've seen, and it's hard to like a horse without that much tactical speed.
Yeah, he's another one I got to see more from. You saw him; he was great in his North America Cup elimination, then really was flat in the final, getting outkicked from a horse from behind him.
He's going to win a big race this year. It's just a matter of which one sets up.
Yeah, I don't think it's this one though. I am going in a direction to try to beat Lather Up. I'm going to go with Dorsadora Hanover. Ron Burke trainee. Basically, you didn't hear much from this horse at all as a 2-year-old. Didn't know much. All of a sudden, razor sharp, 4 for 5 this year. His lone defeat was where he got completely roughed up in the North America Cup final at Pocono. At Woodbine and Mohawk Park. Let me get that right. I liked his elimination race last week. I liked his win. I liked how the 2 moves, how he dug in. Maybe he can leave and can sit a trip behind Lather Up, and Lather Up doesn't get used a little bit harder. You never know. I'll take a shot at 6, 7, maybe 8 to 1 to try to beat Lather Up.
Well, I'm not going against Lather Up. I've seen everything I need to see. He's 7 for 7 on the year. No one's come within a length of him. He's basically just devoured his competition. I don't see why this week would be any different. I think he goes down the road. I think Nutcracker Sweet's probably going to gun out there pretty hard and try to secure a position in the pocket behind him. I like a 7-1 exacta. It's not going to be paying much, maybe $9 if you're lucky.
Listen, you can spread. There's definitely spread. If you're keying Lather Up, there's spreadable numbers here.
I like Springsteen also underneath as another possible horse. But I'm definitely going Lather Up here. I don't see any way he loses this race from what I've seen so far.
Okay, well, I'll take a stab. I'll do an exacta box, Dorsadora Hanover and Lather Up, because if Dorsadora Hanover runs second, it won't be an awful exacta, but I'll take a stab. Maybe he can get beat. Who knows? We'll see.
That's in race 10, the Hemp. We're going to move on to race number 11. It's the $500,000 Ben Franklin. Another strong field there and a wide open field. I mean, Mick Wickett's clearly going to be the favorite in this race, but I wouldn't, put all my money on him as like, hey, he's a cinch.
Yeah, I would say there's 4 or 5 horses that could legitimately win this race. I think it's a good betting race. You have Mick Wickett, who's come back super this year, just the classiest could be, 7-year-old. Heaven and Rocks A, who was a solid win in the elimination. All Bets Off is showing renewed life. Sintra has been solid for the currently running pretty hot Jody Jameson. Filibuster Hanover's been a solid 4-year-old with plenty of speed. It's a good betting race.
Well, I don't know where you went in here. I went with number 7, Sintra. I like everything I've seen of this horse in the last few weeks. The Gold Cup, he was absolutely spectacular. Came home at 26-1 to win in 48. Last week he won his elimination, though he took a little bit of a shortcut up the cones because there was no room there. But you know what? We'll look at it as if there was room there, he was going to win that race. There was no doubt he was going to win that race. He's got a little bit of a tough task trying to figure out a trip from post position number 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
But as you said, Jody Jameson's been driving hot lately.
Yeah, he is certainly rejuvenated, but yeah, I'm concerned about the post with a lot of speed maybe signed up inside of him. I don't think Sintra's the biggest lever in the world, so I don't know where he's going to get away from there.
Who is it that you think is the loudest speed? Like, I think number 6, Rock and Ron, is clearly
obviously
the speed of the race, and he's the long shot I would use on my tickets. He's been good all year long. He's 5 for 12 with 4 seconds overall in the year. 9 for 12, first or second is pretty good. He clearly looks like the speed of the speed. He can get around All Bets Off, who's not the fastest away.
I do think All Bets Off is going to be forwardly placed. I think, as you said, Rock and Ron, Louis Philippe Roy has no reason not to fire 1,000 miles an hour off the gate. Filibuster Hanover, I think, can outleave Sintra maybe. All Bets Off is capable of leaving. I see McWicked getting away mid-pack, Heaven Rocks getting away mid-pack. I'm going to take a stab with All Bets Off here. This horse is pretty much, you could say, written off earlier in the year. Comes back, and all of a sudden, I know it was an overnight race of the Meadowlands, paces a career mark in 1:48. Follows it up with a very gutsy effort in that 3-horse blanket finish last week. You know what? I like the mid-pack post. I think he's sharp. He's finding his best form, and he'll be an okay price in this wide-open affair, and why not take a stab? That's the way I'm looking at it.
So in the Ben Franklin race 11 on Saturday at Pocono, Matt's going with number 5, All Bets Off. I'm going to try the 7, Sintra. And we'll move on to the finale of the 4 stakes. It's race number 12, the $500,000 Earl Beal final. And we have the filly, Manchego, who's now 15 for 15 lifetime. She's putting it all on the line against the boys in this big final, trying to do what Ariana G couldn't do last year.
Yeah, we saw Ariana G as the filly kind of get not the best of trips, stuck outside. I'm looking at the morning line here. Should we flip the morning line, make her 2 to 5?
I don't think she's going to be that short of a price, especially when you consider how she raced in her elimination, which was a solid effort, but she barely won. We're going to take a look at the video of that elimination effort. She's on the lead here, and you're going to see number 3 duck to the inside, and that's Crystal Fashion.
Well, she barely won, but how much is Yannick actually asking of her? And from the looks of it, as they come to the wire, I assume the Manchego saw the horse coming inside of her and said, okay, now you're not going to pass me.
We'll call them love taps, what Yannick was giving.
And meanwhile, it looked like they could have gone around again, and Manchego would have held on by a head or a nose or whatever. A nose was the final margin. Listen, we know it's a filly race in the boys. Me personally, with trotters, it doesn't bother me at all, a filly race in boys. Maybe with pacers, not with trotters. That's just my opinion. 15 for 15 lifetime. You could say, okay, she was at her best, so the margin of victory was very close. I don't see that being a problem. I don't see anybody else in this race in this field that excites me or I think can beat Manchego. So in the first 3 stakes races at Pocono, where I'm trying to maybe come up with a little bit of a price, I'll take the short price of Manchego.
What about the Ohio Invader, Mission Accepted? We're going to look at the replay from this horse last week and kind of like just, stuck on the rim here now in 5th, just going nowhere, and then all of a sudden just took off.
Yeah, I saw a video interview somewhere with driver Ryan Stahl that he said the horse kind of just lost interest for some reason down the backside. Maybe it was his footing. But then when the horse pulled in front of him and he saw and he had something to track, he perked right up. This was an interesting, very interesting decision to duck inside rather than just fan out the 3 or 4 wide as we see here.
An excellent decision.
I mean, and you know what? And it just
really
shows,
heady drive from a guy who doesn't drive in these big stakes races often.
Yeah, this is for regulars of Ohio, especially Northfield Park. Ryan Stahl, regular driver, cash driver in every race there. Good to see a guy that we don't normally see with a big horse here with him and trainer Jeff Conger. Obviously, the horse loves to win 8 for 11 lifetime. That was once he figured out what he was doing, the horse. Looks like very easy to drive, to be able to duck in with a trotter like that and find a path was great.
Maybe 2018 is the year of Ohio. It's the year that the Ohio breds start to come into prominence. Lather Up is by I'm Gorgeous. And now we have this horse here, Mission Accepted, by Man of Many Missions.
Yeah, you know what? We've seen a lot of good Ohio breds, especially trotters. The Jambro. What's the other one that's Triumphant? Is it Triumphant?
Caviar?
Triumphant Caviar, I believe.
Or Chip. There's one of each of those.
No, I believe it's Triumphant Caviar. Anyway, I like those 2 sires, and they've done good things with these horses. It would be nice to see this horse go forward. It would be a good story to see some of the smaller guys or smaller stables have a big, legitimate stakes horse.
A couple more horses I want to mention in this race before you go along with your pick here. Number 8, Evaluate. I thought raced absolutely spectacular behind number 9, 6-Pack last week. 6-Pack won, but went really saw fractions of 57 3/2. There was no way he was losing that race. I thought the 8 and 9 both raced very well last week. The problem is they got post 8 and 9. The good thing is they both have early speed. They're certainly going to make their presence felt in this race.
Okay, the 9 with Oki Fonstead is definitely making his presence felt. I think he's leaving as hard as he can. I really think he has no choice. I'm going to put him 2nd underneath Manchego. Try to get a cold exacta. Maybe at some point be able to line it up there with Mission Accepted finishing 3rd. And like I said, the reason I went with Manchego is that just nothing else at this point, nothing else thrills me. So
I really feel like there's going to be a lot of outside speed in this race. I think Manchego's going, Evaluate's going. I think 6-Pack is definitely going without a doubt. Lawmaker's very fast from the inside. So I wanted something from off the pace. My top pick, I'm going with number 4, Crystal Fashion, who finished just behind Manchego last time. I'm hoping for a good trip. I wouldn't even be surprised if stablemate, uncoupled stablemate, number 5, Fashion Woodchopper, raced much better last week. This is the first time we've seen a really nice effort from this guy this year, and I could see even that horse coming in at a huge price here. I think there's definitely a possibility for a big price here if Manchego doesn't come with her absolute best game.
Well, I think she does. take the yeah, maybe not 1 to 9, 1 to 5, 2 to 5.
I think you'll get a decent price.
But a decent price considering maybe around even
4 to
money.
5 seems short.
Because people try to get cute. She only won by a nose. She's a filly. Blah blah blah.
I think you might get 7 to 5 or 6 to 5.
I'll be all over it then.
So Matt's going with number 6, Manchego. I'm taking number 4, Crystal Fashion. That's race number 12. It's the Earl Beal. You can watch all of the action live on DRF Harness Live. You can join us, join along. I think Garnett Barnsdale, myself, maybe Jay Bergman will be doing some Harness Live real-time analysis and information. Join us then. Good luck.